Hello, viewers. Welcome back. In today's session, we will see how do we manage our vouchers. So, normally you make a voucher entry, right? So you record a voucher entry, and in the organization, you will have once you have created the voucher, probably there might be various other exceptional activities that you would want to perform. For example, let us say on a given day you have vouchers already captured, but for some reason you want to add a voucher, right? Or you want to insert a voucher. So we will try and understand what is the difference between adding a voucher and inserting a voucher, and what impact it has on your voucher numbering. Okay, so this could be one of the requirement. Number two is that probably you would want to cancel a voucher, or you would want to delete a voucher. Then again we will see what is the difference, what impact it has when you are deleting a voucher which you have already created, or if you want to cancel a voucher, and what is the better method for you depending on each of the voucher type also we will see. So one is you would want to add a voucher or insert a voucher, you would want to delete a voucher or cancel a voucher. Okay, the fifth exception, or the fifth benefit that you can make use of managing the vouchers in Tally is that you can actually, like, duplicate a voucher. And especially if I can just quickly give you a use case for duplicating a voucher. The other things, once we go into Tally, I will give you whatever is the use case, like generally that businesses would need. But different businesses would have a different need for managing these vouchers uh, through these various exceptional actions. So it all depends on. So basically we will only see that how do we manage these vouchers by inserting, adding, deleting, or uh, canceling. What impact it has on your voucher numbering is what we will see, but you will have multiple use cases depending on your organization's need. Duplicating a voucher is basically when you want to repeat a voucher. The best example that I can give you is generally in an organization, if you see at end of the month, they will make the petty cash transaction recording. Right. So petty cash is managed by assuming that petty cash is managed by a person maybe in the factory, and then once a month the statement is produced to you in an Excel sheet. So you will have to now make a one voucher entry for all the various expenses that have been met through the petty cash. So so what you would do is that generally in a petty cash, when you're recording this entry at the end of the month, you will have at least 10-15 different type of expenses which you will have to record. And which means basically you are going to debit this 10-15 ledgers, like example, conveyance, printing and stationery, loading charges, handling charges, so many other things which you will debit. And finally you will one consolidated amount, which is the month end total, or a weekend total, or a fortnight total, or a day end total, whichever way you are going to record. So you are going to credit your petty cash ledger with the total amount of all the expenses. Now every month, or if you're doing it on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, every time for you to like pass this entry, it takes a good amount of time for you to select those ledgers and put those amount, everything. Now this is where Tally gives you a beautiful feature where you can duplicate a voucher. It means you can go to a particular voucher, and then we will see in Tally how to duplicate. And then you can duplicate that voucher. The moment you duplicate the voucher, whatever is the original voucher, the date, the ledgers, and the value that you have captured will create a copy of that voucher, and then you will have that voucher interface. Now You can change the date. Okay, you can change the amount subsequently, or in a subsequent week or a quarter or a fortnight or a month. You will have different amount, so you can fill in those. It's like, modifying the even if in case if there is any additional ledger or you want to remove a ledger, you can remove that. Normally what happens, generally these ledgers are going to be there on a regular basis, so you can enter those amounts and then you can save the voucher. So this way it becomes quite fast for you to start capturing the voucher, and especially for the accountant, this method is going to be a very very a very handy and useful method for you to capture the transaction. Other use case that we can think of is that if you have regular monthly recurring expenses, right? Like for example, rent, your electricity charges, your mobile charges, and all those things. If it is a recurring thing, then basically you can go to the previous voucher, duplicate the voucher, change the date, change the amount, and save the voucher. So the data entry becomes faster, right? So these are two three use cases that you can think of in case of duplication of a voucher. And now we will see that how can you manage adding a voucher or inserting a voucher, deleting a voucher, or canceling a voucher, and of course duplicating of the vouchers we will see in Tally now. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you in Tally Prime first, right? And then we will see in Tally.ERP, because in Tally.ERP it is going to be very easy. You really don't have to remember the keyboard shortcut, because in Tally.ERP, if you see all the keyboard shortcut, just remember my secret number one in my introduction session on Tally, right? So in Tally.ERP I said the secret number one is the right hand side button bar and the bottom button bar, right? So if you see these five action which I was talking about: inserting, adding, deleting, canceling, and duplicating, those keyboard shortcuts are available at the bottom of the voucher entry screen or at the bottom of the reporting. uh, Generally adding and all comes in case where you are seeing the report, not at the voucher entry level. So it is very easy, you don't have to remember. But now in Tally Prime, those, first of all, the bottom button bar is vanished in Tally Prime. Okay, and it is also not available to you on the right hand side button bar in Tally Prime. So it is important. So basically these keyboard shortcuts, if you want to know, you will have to go to Tally Help, and then you have to find out what is the keyboard shortcut. So I'm going to for show first in Tally Prime, and I'm going to tell you what is the keyboard shortcut. So I think especially accountants or data entry operators, if you are not aware, if you have not been exposed to Tally.ERP, I would request you to make a note of this keyboard shortcut. It is going to be really really very handy for all of you. So we are in Tally Prime. Now, for you to see the list of vouchers, we know that the best place for you to see all the vouchers that you have captured for a given day or for any given period, the best place for you to view the list of vouchers is your Daybook. And we know that the Daybook menu is now available on the gateway of Tally in Tally Prime. So the keyboard shortcut for Daybook is just press K, right? So it is going to give you the Daybook listing of all the voucher as on the current date or as on the last date of your voucher entry. So in this book, the last date of voucher entry is 2nd June. So if you want to see the list of all the transactions right from the beginning, then very simple. All you need to do is just press F2 and press space bar. So that means the date you are making it blank. The moment you make the date as blank, press enter. It is now going to automatically, Tally will assume that you want to see from the first date of your first voucher till the last date of your last voucher. Okay, so it is now going to give you a list of all the vouchers, right? So uh, adding a voucher. All right. So let us assume that one of the use case, I mean, this could not be the default use case, but I'm just giving you so that you get an idea. So let us say that in my organization, we also have a separate, series of voucher where we have manual vouchers being created before we start capturing my data in Tally, right? So in fact, you can actually do away with these manual vouchers and all with the Tally vouchers, because you can print your vouchers and get, in case, if you are making payment to somebody, you want the recipient's signature in the voucher, you can print the voucher from Tally and then take its signature. Okay, so that is one way which you can avoid your manual voucher series to be managed. Okay, let's assume that I have a manual series that is happening, and I keep capturing this based on referring those vouchers. Okay, so on a particular day, for example, let us say uh, on uh, on 10th of on 10th of May, I have a receipt entry. I have made a receipt. So that means I have received some money, maybe through check or something, where in my company the receipt voucher is already made and it has got a running sequential number, which is automatic number, right? So now I have already passed so many other entries on the subsequent dates and all those things, right? So in case if I want to add a voucher on that particular day, which means, for example, if you see here, I have this receipt voucher number 2. Now I want to add a voucher which is going to be receipt voucher number 3, assuming that already, already, there are some other vouchers already entered here. So now I how do I add a voucher? Okay, so you bring your cursor to wherever you want to add a voucher, any particular within that particular day. Like if you see on 10th of May, I have multiple vouchers. Assuming that I have more than one receipt entry on that same day, then I can select a particular receipt entry, and whichever voucher number I want the next voucher number to be created, right? So in that case, what I do, I put my cursor on that particular voucher type which I want to now add a new voucher for any given date. And then all you need to do is remember this keyboard shortcut for Tally Prime users. You have to use Alt A. Now, when you use Alt A, it is now going to, if you notice the voucher number, it is going to give you number 3. Let me just add one voucher, and then we will see the adding of voucher, inserting of voucher, how you can manage your voucher numbering. Okay, so let me just add one voucher now. I'm going to say Alt A to add a voucher. So now it is giving me voucher number 3, right? So I'm just saying Apparel Retail. Right, so this is my customer. Let's say I have received 50,000. Okay, and then I'm going to debit my bank account. Let us say I already have this entry, right? So I already have this entry. Now you will see that on 10th of May there are 2 receipt vouchers, right? So now I want to add uh, another voucher which is going to be, which has to be receipt voucher number 4. So what you need to do is that put your cursor on receipt voucher number 3, and then you press Alt A, and now you will notice here this receipt number has become 4. Once you enter the detail and once you save this voucher, then it is going to add this particular voucher on 10th, just below your voucher number 3. So that is what is adding of a voucher. Now inserting a voucher, like for example, let us say you want to, this voucher number 3, the receipt voucher number 3 is actually voucher number 4. So now you want to insert a voucher where you want to get the same voucher number, whatever manual record that you are having, you want to get the same number, so that at a later point in time when you want to cross verify the voucher, from the physical voucher slip that you have, it becomes easy for you to trace the voucher by the sequential number. So now I want a new voucher to be created with the voucher receipt voucher number 3. So what am I going to do? So now what you do is put your cursor on receipt voucher number 3, and then instead of Alt A, instead of adding a voucher, you go and insert a voucher. So what is the keyboard command for inserting a voucher? It is Alt I. I for insert. So you say Alt I, and just notice the voucher number 3 is already been saved. So I'm going to press Alt I, and now you will see that the receipt voucher number 3 is going to get created. So once you capture all this detail, then voucher receipt number 3, a new receipt voucher number 3 will be created, and the existing receipt voucher number 3 will become 4. Important aspect that you have to remember in case of especially auto numbering in Tally: adding a voucher or inserting a voucher will renumber the voucher. This will renumber the subsequent uh, numbers of the same voucher type. So that you have to keep in mind whenever you are going to add or insert a voucher. The next one is deleting a voucher. Again, assuming that you have by mistake you have captured the same entry twice, right? So then, I mean, like, you don't want, because it's a duplicate entry, so you want to delete a particular delete that duplicate entry. So how do you delete the voucher in Tally? Very simple. So what you do is, whichever voucher that you want to delete, just highlight that particular voucher. Like, for example, let's say I want to delete this particular receipt voucher number 3. So my cursor is already there, so all you do is just press space bar. When you press space bar, it is going to select that particular voucher. Okay, and then for deleting a voucher, the keyboard shortcut command is Alt D. D for delete. Okay, so I'm going to press Alt D, and Tally is again going to ask you another warning question, saying that, are you sure that you want to delete this voucher? Now when you press yes, that voucher will get deleted. Again, you have to remember, the moment you delete the voucher, all the subsequent voucher numbers will get renumbered. Okay, especially in case of sales, you have to be very, very careful. In context with the GST, it is very important that you cannot, even if you have by mistake, you have created another tax invoice as a duplicate invoice which you have already created. You didn't know that this voucher was made, and you have gone and created another uh, tax invoice, and then you have already saved it. So in that case, if you delete it, then all your subsequent voucher numbers might get renumbered, and that is going to create a problem in case of GST, when the GST credit is going to be claimed by the recipient, because the invoice number is going to be matched. So it is very important. So in those circumstances, what would you do? So you can't delete the sales voucher. So what do you do? So Tally gives you an option of canceling a voucher, right? So what is the difference between deleting a voucher and canceling a voucher? When you delete a voucher, that entire voucher will go out of your database, and all subsequent voucher numbers of that voucher type will be renumbered backwards, right? Now, in case when you are going to cancel a voucher, the most important thing is the voucher will be retained with the voucher number. Okay, supposing, let us assume I want to cancel this receipt voucher number 3. Now, if I delete it, voucher number 3 will go. All my subsequent receipt voucher will become 3, 4, 5, 6. It will renumber backwards. If I cancel it, then this receipt voucher number 3 is going to remain. But the information that I have captured here will get removed or will get deleted. That means it is going to get away from your books of account. So that is your intent, right? So instead of deleting, especially in case of sales invoice, it is advisable that you cancel it. So you can use for any voucher type, again depending on, you have to understand the impact and the implication. Once you understand the impact and implication, then you can you know diligently use what is that you would want to do, whether you want to delete a voucher. If it is not having any adverse impact, delete the voucher. If it is having any adverse impact, cancel the voucher, so that the voucher will get retained. Now we will see cancellation of voucher, right? So just remember this example what I had mentioned, especially in case of your sales invoice. It is very important that you better cancel it, so that you can retain that sequence of your voucher number. And you can actually basically uh, provide information in the voucher for the reason for canceling for your later reference. Okay. How do you cancel this? So the moment you cancel, so the difference between the delete and cancel, I just now mentioned that it will retain your voucher number in case of cancellation, but the data or the information within the voucher is going to get removed, and it is going to have an impact on your financial statement, right? So how are we going to duplicate the vouchers? There are multiple ways of deleting a voucher or canceling a voucher. So one is that the earlier one I showed you, I mentioned that you just press spacebar, select it, and then you can delete it, or you can cancel also. Or let us assume that your cursor is already here, right? So which is highlighted, so you can just press alt. So the canceling keyboard shortcut is alt x. So alt x. So I have not pressed spacebar to highlight it, but my cursor is there on this receipt. I'm going to say alt x. It will ask you, do you want to cancel? So this is one way of doing it. The other way, even the same thing applies for deleting of the voucher also. So I'm going to press spacebar, and I'm going to press alt x again. Cancel selected. Okay. Now here, if you say, it says cancel selected, but in this case, alt x, it is just saying, do you want to cancel? So what does it mean? So now, if you want to, let us assume you want to cancel multiple vouchers, then you can select multiple vouchers rather than doing it each voucher every time. You can select multiple voucher, and then you can either delete it or you can cancel. So how do you use this multiple voucher? Like for example, let us say I want to cancel, for example, one. This I want to cancel, or I want to delete. Then I want to cancel this or delete this. I want to cancel this or delete this. I want to cancel this or delete this. Now I have selected four vouchers of different voucher types. Okay. Now I'm going to press alt x. So now this is where it is saying, do you want to cancel the selected vouchers? If I say yes, all the four vouchers which have been selected or highlighted will get cancelled, and those voucher numbers will be retained as it is. Okay. So this is how basically you can do single voucher cancel, or select multiple voucher, and then you can cancel them one shot, cancel or delete it. Okay. So let me just show you one this thing. So if you see here, I have one transaction on 2nd of June, which let's say I want to cancel this particular voucher. The other method of canceling the voucher is, you can go inside the voucher. So I'm going inside the voucher. I am seeing the information inside the voucher, and now I feel that this is a duplicate entry. I want to cancel it because I've already made this sales on some other day. By mistake, I've gone and created one more sales invoice. So now I'm going to cancel this voucher. So before canceling, what you do is, you just come here to the narration, and then you can give the narration, the reason for canceling this particular voucher. Just enter. You can say, this invoice has already been raised, hence this has been cancelled. Okay. So specify the narration, whatever is the reason that you want to do, so that once you cancel a particular voucher, the narration is going to be retained and all your other information will be removed from this particular voucher. Okay. So now I have given my reason before canceling, and now I'm going to press Alt X, enter, and now it says that the voucher is cancelled. So if you want to know why this voucher was cancelled, just press enter. You will see this narration where you would have given the reason for canceling this particular voucher. So like this, before you cancel a voucher, just mention in the narration what is the reason for canceling and then cancel the voucher, so that you can always recall the reason for canceling. But in case of deletion, nothing is going to remain in your data, right? So the voucher number is gone. Yeah, all information, narration, everything is gone, because that entire voucher itself will be vanished once you delete it. Now we will see the duplication part. Okay. So the duplication happens, like for example, let us say I have this one particular entry. Now the same party, let us assume that I'm going to sell the same item again, but maybe the quantity might be different. Now for me to go to a new voucher, select the party, select my sales ledger, select the item and all those things, it becomes little time consuming. Now this is where I can make use of my duplication of voucher. So all I need to do is, let us say I want to sell, like make another sales invoice on 2nd of June. Okay, so one invoice I've already cancelled, which is invoice number 3, sales invoice number 3. Now I want to make another invoice on 2nd of June. Let us see what happens. Now in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this existing voucher which was made on 10th of May. So I'm going to select this particular voucher, and for duplicating the voucher, the keyboard shortcut is Alt 2. So when I press Alt 2, it is now going to, it has got the same number, because it will just make a copy of the information of that particular voucher which you are duplicating. Now, if you are saving this information on the same date, it is now automatically going to change the number, because it is going to add automatically. I'm going to now duplicate this voucher, and I'm going to pass this sales entry on 2nd of June. The moment I enter 2nd of June, you will see that in the automatic number, the sales voucher number is changed to 4. 3 we already cancelled, so it is going to number 4. Now if there is any addition, or if you want to, let us say, for example, let us say all the other item he is picking up, but only thing, the last item he is not picking up, rest everything is the same. So all I need to do is, it's very simple, I just come here and then I come to end of list, right? And then I'm going to now save this. See how easy, simple it is for me to duplicate a particular voucher where there is too much of data to be captured. So now same party, sale bill number 4, and my sales invoice is ready. Okay. So this is how you can manage your voucher based on your requirement of exceptions. So adding a voucher is Alt A, inserting a voucher is Alt I, deleting a voucher is Alt D, canceling a voucher is Alt X, and duplicating a voucher is Alt 2. So these are the keyboard commands that you have to remember, especially when you're working on Tally Prime. But when you come to Tally ERP, it is very, very simple. Like for example, I come to now in Tally ERP, your Daybook, you'll have to go to display. So go to display. So from the display menu, you select Daybook, and now it is going to give you the list as on the current date. So just press F2, spacebar, enter is going to be the same thing. Now you will get this whole thing, right? It is very easy. The behavior or the experience that we saw in Tally Prime is going to be the same thing for you to do this management of your vouchers in Tally ERP also. The advantage here is that you don't have to remember the keyboard shortcut. If you see here, your secret number 1, right hand side button bar and bottom button bar. Now when you come to bottom button bar, right, so you have individual button which very clearly tells you what is the keyboard shortcut that you will use for your various actions on the vouchers, right? If you want to delete, the keyboard shortcut is Alt D, right? So you can press Alt D, or you can just click here. It is going to ask you, do you want to delete? Because this is already selected, it is already highlighted. Do you want to delete? Delete. If you want to cancel, click Alt X. It is going to ask you, do you want to cancel? Now if I want to add a voucher, okay, so let us say on I want to add a new sales voucher on, because already 3 is there, I want to make 4. Let's assume, or let's not take the example of sales, receipt voucher, right? So I want to add a receipt voucher, so I'm going to say add. So you will notice here receipt voucher number 3 will get added. If I want to insert a voucher here, I'm going to say insert voucher. So it is going to now make this as 2, and the existing voucher it will convert into voucher number 3, right? So it is very easy as far as managing your voucher as far as the Tally ERP is concerned, because the keyboard shortcuts are available to you at the bottom of your button bar. Okay, Tally Prime, you have to remember this, right? So this way, I hope this session would have given you an idea of how you can manage your vouchers with these various exceptions. And let's meet again in our next session. The next session we will discuss about the bill-wise detail, which is the receivable and payable management, which is again a very important and critical feature that is required by every businesses. So thank you all. See you till the next session. Thank you very much.